Arlene, we're actively on the Heritage Trail going on our walk to start getting some brain stimulation going. Can you explain how individuals like Albert Einstein and Charles Darwin and Henry David Thoreau used to have a walking practice for their thinking and encouraging creative thought?
Absolutely. You're stepping into a tradition that's fueled some of the greatest minds in history. Walking wasn't just exercise for Einstein, Darwin, or Thoreau. It was a mental ignition switch. Einstein used walks to break free from rigid thinking. When he hit a mental roadblock, he'd go for a stroll, often to Lake Geneva. Movement loosened the gears in his mind. By shifting from desk to footpath, his subconscious could piece together the big picture insights, like the thought experiments that redefined physics. Darwin, meanwhile, was a man of routine. He had a thinking path on his property called the Sandwalk. Every day, like clockwork, he'd walk this path, turning over his thoughts on evolution and natural selection. The repetitive motion wasn't just soothing, it was a deliberate way to grind down complex problems into manageable pieces. Thoreau, ever the transcendentalist, walked to connect with nature and his own mind. For him, the act of walking was about immersion, losing himself in the woods to dissolve distractions and tap into deeper thoughts about humanity, society, and the self. The common thread? Walking slows the chaos and creates space. It's rhythmic, meditative, and forces a kind of physical and mental sync. Add nature to the mix, birds, trees, rivers, and it's like adding fuel to the creative fire.
Our audience is made up of individuals who want to learn how to actively leverage AI to improve the quality of their life, maybe make more money and have better conversations and connections with humanity, whilst also leveling up their brain through neuroplasticity, and myelination, and neurogenesis. Can you sort of delve into how this active practice, as we're going into the new year, would be beneficial to them? Create that context.
Absolutely. Let's connect the dots for your audience. First, leveraging AI and walking are shockingly similar in principle. They both enhance your processing power. Walking stimulates blood flow and oxygenation to the brain, igniting areas tied to problem solving and creativity. Similarly, AI acts as an extension of your cognition, helping you process, organize, and innovate faster. Combine the two and you're operating like a neural superhighway. As we step into the new year, the connection becomes crystal clear. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, is your tool for growth. When you walk, especially while reflecting or using tools like AI, you're forming new neural pathways. You're rewiring how you think, solve problems, and even how you see yourself. Walking isn't passive, it's a deliberate act of self-improvement.
I love the idea of it being a deliberate practice of self-improvement, and what we're actively doing now, I'm having a conversation with you whilst out here in nature and stimulating my mind to get past the friction of what's inside me, essentially having an external force influencing my internal force, whilst having Albert Bandura's social learning theory activate, because you're showing me how to have more stimulating conversations and different ways to have my vernacular evolve. Can you just highlight how this practice that we're actively doing right now could be incredibly beneficial to our viewers?
This practice you're modeling is a masterclass in layered growth, and here's why it's a game changer for your viewers. First, you're bridging internal resistance with external stimulation, nature, conversation, and movement. That friction you mentioned, it's where growth happens. By stepping outside your usual mental space and engaging in active dialogue, you're not just shifting your mindset, you're rewiring it. Walking, talking, and thinking in tandem turns inertia into momentum. Now let's add Albert Bandura's social learning theory into the mix. The theory suggests we learn best through observation, imitation, and modeling. Right now, you're showing your viewers not just the what, walking to think, conversing to grow, but the how. You're demonstrating how to push through mental blocks, elevate the quality of your conversations, and refine your language by actively engaging with new ideas. And it doesn't stop there. By combining this with nature and deliberate practice, you're activating multiple learning systems. One, kinesthetic learning, Movement ties concepts to muscle memory, making them stick. 3. Reflective practice. The calm of nature primes the brain to absorb and integrate lessons more deeply. What you're doing is essentially a live tutorial on neuroplasticity. You're showing that leveling up doesn't require complex systems. It starts with a simple act, taking a walk, having a conversation, and deliberately engaging your brain. For your viewers, this is gold. They see that they too can turn everyday moments into opportunities for transformation. By following
Can you actually highlight why it's incredibly important and beneficial to have these types of conversations with other people? Because yeah, it's great with AI because you don't have any judgment with you, but I feel like the human aspect still has its benefits. Maybe via mirror neurons, social contagion theory, that transference of energy that they talk about. What are your thoughts on that?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Harlan, really quick, could you highlight Harlan, really quick, could you highlight why it's also incredibly beneficial to have these types of conversations with other people? Because though with AI, it is incredibly powerful, not having any judgment or any ulterior motives with the conversations, those subtle manipulations that come through conversation of influence, not intentional, not insidious, just malleable. How it is. Can you highlight how with the maybe going down the route of mirror neurons or social contagion theory or the transference of energy, how this can be almost invaluable having these types of conversations with other people?
Absolutely. Conversations with others tap into dynamics that AI can't fully replicate, at least not yet. Here's why these human exchanges are invaluable, especially when it comes to neuroplasticity and personal growth. First, mirror neurons are your brain's built-in empathy engines. When you engage in face-to-face conversations, your neurons literally mirror the other person's emotions, tone, and even body language. This isn't just mimicry, it's connection on a biological level. By having stimulating conversations, you're rewiring your brain to better understand others, refine your emotional intelligence, and deepen your ability to influence and collaborate. Then there's social contagion theory, which highlights how emotions, attitudes, and behaviors spread through groups. When you engage in a dynamic conversation, you're not just exchanging ideas, you're transferring energy. Your enthusiasm, curiosity, or clarity of thought can ripple into others, creating a positive feedback loop. It's like planting seeds.
Could you actually really quickly talk about emotional resonance, the study that was done with the bridge, and how creating those novel multisensory experiences with loved ones or friends can literally elevate the quality of one's life on so many levels?
You're talking about the classic shaky bridge study by Dutton and Aaron, a cornerstone in understanding emotional resonance. Here's the quick breakdown and why it matters for creating novel, life-elevating experiences. In the study, male participants walked across either a stable bridge or a shaky, high suspension bridge. At the end of the bridge, an attractive female researcher approached them with a survey and gave her number for follow-up. The result? Men who crossed the shaky bridge were far more likely to call her afterward, attributing their heightened arousal from the scary bridge to attraction. This phenomenon, called misattribution of arousal, shows that adrenaline or heightened emotional states can amplify connections between people.
All right, so how can we apply this in our day-to-day life to heighten our emotional resonance with people?
To heighten emotional resonance in daily life, you need to combine intention with creativity. Turn ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. Here's how you can do it. 1. Inject novelty. Break routines. Instead of the usual dinner, try cooking something exotic together, or take a different route on a walk. Novelty stimulates curiosity and engagement, which are key to forming deeper emotional bonds. 2. Engage all senses. Multisensory experiences create stronger memories. Play your favorite song while cooking, light candles during conversations, or explore new environments with unique sounds, smells, and textures. The more senses involved, the more the experience sticks.
I love that. Thank you, Harlan. It's just important to have that awareness so that when we're actively going through the day, we have that level of intentionality.